Tonight, the Trump administration lifted federal guidelines allowing transgender students to use public school bathrooms and locker rooms matching their chosen gender identity. It will now be up to the states and school districts to interpret whether federal sex discrimination law applies to gender identity. CBS 4's Oralia Ortega joins us live with reaction. Oralia.
As you can imagine, people in the LGBT community are quite upset with these developments, and one LGBT rights activist from South Florida took to Twitter to voice her concerns. The Trump administration has lifted federal guidelines on transgender student bathroom protections. It'll now be up to states and school districts to interpret federal discrimination laws.
As a transgender teenager, I was deeply affected by the Trump administration's plan to revoke Obama's directive that was trans-inclusive towards kids like myself within schools.
Jazz Jennings, a transgender teenager from South Florida who's been featured on CBS 4 News in the past, posted this video on Twitter sitting next to her mother.
I know that growing up, I had it really hard because I wasn't allowed to use the girls' restroom. I faced discrimination at such an early age, and I didn't understand why I was being treated differently.
Education Secretary Betsy DeVos said the administration has a, quote, responsibility to protect every student in America and ensure that they have the freedom to learn and thrive in a safe and trusted environment, end quote. The Attorney General says anti-bullying safeguards are still in effect.
The president's made it clear throughout the campaign that he's a firm believer in states' rights and that certain issues like this are not best dealt with at the federal level.
And we reached out to Miami-Dade and Broward Public Schools for comment. We heard back from Miami-Dade County Public Schools just a little while ago, and they tell us that they have an anti-discrimination policy in place and that they have been working with students on a case-by-case basis for many years. So it is unlikely that there will be any type of impact from any changes at the federal level. Live in Miami, Oralia Ortega, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Thanks, Oralia.